Hi, welcome to the May Carroll County Public Library card camp. We have 2 card kits for you today. The first one I want you to take out is this kit, which has the pocket cards that we've pre-cut for you. We're going to start with your card base, which is just a piece of white cardstock. Go ahead and fold that in half and score it. Now, what we're going to do is cover the whole front of the card base with this coral piece. I'm just going to add some adhesive. And I'm going to be pretty generous with the adhesive since we're covering the whole card front. Then I want to take this pocket card that we've already trimmed down for you and put some adhesive on the back. And adhere that, and I'm going to put the darker ombre shade near the top. But you could do however you'd like. Next, take this 3x4 pocket card. We have pre-stamped a greeting here for you. If you are interested in doing your own stamping, the library has a pretty extensive set of rubber stamps. If you search under the format for 3D object, the rubber stamps you will find all the rubber stamps listed there. You'll find other 3D objects in addition to the rubber stamps. And there's usually a clickable link that you can click on to see what the rubber stamp images look like. So while I was saying that, I just tied the ribbon. I tied it in a knot on the left side. And now we're going to adhere that onto our card. So this is a pretty quick and easy card because now the last step is just to adhere the hearts. We gave you 3. You could use all 3. You could use 1. You could use none. But I kind of like all 3 of them. So I'm going to put it facing that way. I'm going to use all 3 of the hearts on my card. Now for this, I'm using a liquid glue because I find for small pieces that liquid glue works a little easier. And the liquid glue that I often use is this Tombow Mono Multi, which you can get at Michael's. So that is it for our first card. Now, for our second card, this one's going to take a little bit of time. So this has a lot of pieces to it. I'm going to take the large stars and the small stars and put them to the side. We have 2 different greetings. We have your Every Good Thing, and we have Happy Father's Day because we wanted to give you a option, and then a background for the greetings. Then you're going to have a lot of these triangles. So these triangles we're going to use to make a card that I've seen called either a sunburst or sun ray card. Take your white card base, fold it in half, and score it to get started. And then we have kind of a rust-colored piece that again, covers the whole card front. So we're going to be generous with our adhesive and place that down, covering the whole card front. It's kind of hard for me with the angle that I'm sitting to see if I have it exactly right. So I've got a little bit excess there, but that's just because of my angle. I think when you're working at home and you can lean over, you won't have that problem. So let's go ahead and set that aside now because we're going to work on this piece. You should have a piece on one side that has pencil marks, and we put these pencil marks because we wanted to come up with a point. And we're going to take all of these triangles and just alternate different patterns, but they're all going to try to meet closely to that center point. We're going to go all the way around, and when we're done, we're going to have a lot of excess, and we'll just trim that off. So I'm not going to worry about the excess from these triangles right now. I will probably work with a liquid glue. Sometimes when you work with a liquid glue, you have to be careful, because if some of this glue it happens to go off the page, then you're going to stick to your scratch paper. So definitely make sure you have scratch paper working on this project. And I'm going to try to remember to move this pretty frequently, so if I do have some excess glue, it doesn't adhere to my scratch paper. So I am going to start with this pattern that's kind of a dark blue. Now we have various patterns that we put in these kits. So you will not have exactly these same patterns, but you should have 2 of every pattern. So you may not have exactly what I'm working with, but you should have something pretty similar. I'm going to start kind of at an angle, and I'm going to use my thumb to kind of say, I don't want any glue past this area. And I'm just going to put glue. I'm not worried if I don't go right to the edge, because when we're done, you can kind of tuck some glue into the ends if needed. So you see, I'm going to go right to that point. Oop. See, this is another good reason why you work with liquid glue, because liquid glue you can move around a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to pick another pattern. And I'm going to meet right there at the center. Now the key for this card is you want the patterns to butt right up against each other. You don't want any white card base showing in between. So this, again, I'm marking with my thumb about where I don't want my glue to extend. I'm going to go meet right there at that center again, butting right up. Okay. Check my paper to make sure that I didn't adhere accidentally. Now I want to pick a pattern that's a little lighter. So that's why I have this one, because it's kind of a lighter background. The other thing you'll notice with these triangles that we cut from project cards is they're double-sided, so you have lots of choices. Okay. Next, I'm going to pick something kind of, this, I figured I would pick this pattern because it's kind of dark and it's kind of plain. There's not a lot of there's not patterns going on in this one. So now I'm going to try to butt that up to meet that center as best as I can. I'm going to lift my page up. See, it's already stuck a little bit, so I'm glad that I lifted my work piece up. Okay, let's keep going. Either side is good here. So this is not going to show a lot of pattern, so that's kind of nice to have something different. So let's do something that will show a lot of pattern next. And you'll see a lot of these, either side of these triangles would work. Now in my card kit, I had this nice yellow, and I like that because it's kind of a solid and it has a lot of color to it. I'm going to use that one next. So you see now my points are not really meeting in the center there, and I sure hope that doesn't cause me a problem at the end. If it does, we will work through that. Again, just picking different patterns to showcase this nice design. So now I think I've worked around counterclockwise. Now I think I'm gonna work clockwise for a little bit. Actually, I think I like, no, I kind of like, I'm trying to decide. I think I like that one better. Now let me lift my workspace up to see. Oh, good, nothing is stuck. Okay, so now we've used this pattern. We're gonna be using it again. So that's what I was saying initially. You should have 2 of each piece. I'm gonna use the yellow. So you can see I'm repeating patterns now. And once we have used both, once we've used, you know, both of our all of our triangles, you know, both types, I'm probably going to have to start cutting off some of the excess to finish, because it's looking like I'm not going to have enough triangles, and that's okay. You could even cut the excess as you go if you wanted, and you could probably get a second card. From all the pieces that you have in your kit. Okay, now I'm working quickly so I can see that I've kind of gotten a little bit of glue where it doesn't belong. Okay, I only have two more cards. I'm sorry, I only have 2 more triangles. So I am gonna have to cut some excess before I finish. Okay. So these are all of the triangles that you will have in your kit. You might have different patterns, but that's the number of triangles you're gonna have. So I'm gonna take my my work here, and I'm just gonna cut off the excess. It's a little bit sticky from the glue. So I would use a pair of scissors that, you know, that you don't mind cleaning afterwards. Okay. Now, since I just worked on this piece recently, I'm gonna leave that excess so it has time to dry. So let's finish here. Now I don't quite have a triangle, and I can either make a triangle using a paper trimmer. I actually don't have a paper trimmer handy, so I'm just gonna use a pair of scissors. I don't really want to have stars next to stars, so let's do this piece. think I like something solid here. We'll probably either use the yellow or the wood. Since these two wood pieces are kind of small, I think I'm going to use the bigger. I'm going to use the wood too, since it'll have a bigger showing there. Like this. Here's another wood piece. I'm trying to make sure that that I get the whole, I don't need to fill in one tiny little sliver. So I think if I do this, I'm going to cut from here to the corner to make a triangle. And I think that will cover that last piece completely. Look what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to tuck that piece in. So when you get to the end, it seems like you've got to work it just a little bit to get that last couple pieces to complete your sunburst or sun ray. So now let me finish cutting off the excess. If I were at home, I would probably wait a few minutes to do this just to make sure everything is dry. So when you're working at home, you might want to just wait. But it should be fine for our video. Okay, so now I'm going to use my adhesive to put adhesive all over the back. I'm going to be really generous since this has got a lot of paper here. And I want my greeting down here. So you have to decide where you want your greeting. If you want it up there, you adhere your card that way. It's up to you. And I'm going to choose the Your Every Good Thing for my card. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back. If for some reason you do not like either of the greetings you got in your kit, that's no problem, because you can always just stamp something on the back, which will be white. So it doesn't really matter if these things don't meet exactly, because they're going to be covered by your greeting. We included different colored stars, figuring it depending on your pattern, you might prefer a different color. I think I like the bright yellow. So I'm going to put the large star here. And then we've given you a whole bunch of the smaller stars. I like to put little embellishments on in odd numbers. So I would put either 3 or 5. Since the big star is number 1, then I'm going to put this little blue one here, and then I want to pick up the rust colored, so I'm just going to do 3, 1 large and 2 small. Okay, and you have plenty of extra stars if you want to make another card with your leftovers. Okay, there, now we are complete with our cards. We hope you've enjoyed both of these today. I wanted to mention that we have on Wednesday, May 25th, a crafternoon. So you can come to the North Carroll branch and bring whatever project you might be working on, and just work, with some other crafters for a couple hours from 12:30 to 2:30 on May 25th. It's the North Carroll branch crafternoon. We hope to see you then. Thank you.